So here we have the charging chip. You can see on top is called a charger. Now the charging chip shows how which voltage comes in and how charging power is made. Everything about the charging is shown on this page. We shall see all of these in the future. Then here we have 3.3 and 5 volts. So this one shows how 3.3 and 5 volts is made, the schematics, and is made by this chip. So the next one is the CPU core. So this one shows how CPU voltage and power is made. Basically this is the chip that controls the CPU power. Then the second page you have the CPU core. So here it shows other components that make up the CPU voltage. The same here, the CPU has got 3 phase, which means it has got 3 different type of power. So they are showing all of these power on these pages. And then here we have power plane regulator, 1.2 volts and 2.5. So basically this one is the RAM voltage. The RAM is called VDD2 and VTT. So this is 1.2 and there is 0.6. So RAM voltage is shown here how it is made. Then we go to the next page. You see there is a plane regulator for 1.0. So this one makes 1.0, which powers up the chipset. Then here we have 1.8 S5, how it is made, which chip makes that voltage. Here we have the screen LCD connector is also shown here, the camera, we have the touchpad, we have the LCD power 3.3 is also shown here. Here we have the HDMI communication and the connector. Here we have the HDD, which is the hard drive. The hard drive connector is here, and how the communication goes from the hard drive to the chipset. We have the CD-ROM and how it is connected. Here we have the WLAN. This is the wireless network where the wireless card is installed, as also shown on this page. On the next page we have the power button. This is shown here. The battery LED is shown here. The HDD LED is shown here. Keyboard connector shown here, and the touchpad, they are all shown here. Here we have the debug port. So the debug port is used for testing, fixing, and diagnosing motherboards. Here we have the GPU, the graphics card. So basically this one is talking about the graphics chip and the graphics communication. Here we have the graphics RAM, those RAM slots on the motherboard for the graphics. Down here we have the power for the graphics card, that's why it's called GPU power. So the chip that makes this power is shown up here. Then down here you have the fingerprint, its communication is shown up here. Now here is where most of the information and the interesting part comes in. Here we have the clock block diagram. So this one shows the clock signals. So you can see all the clock signals, how they are made on this page. Now down here we have one of the most interesting parts. This one is called power up sequence diagram. So this is one of the most strongest pages. It shows which signal comes up first and which comes up next. This one you can see we have the VCC, RTC reset. So this shows which signal comes up first and which comes up next. Now here we have these letters, letter A, letter B, letter D, letter C. So these ones are shown in ascending, I think it's called ascending order, which comes out first and which comes out next. We are going to take a look at these signals in details in our next videos. Then here they show you how voltage is broken down from the adapter, the battery, and how it is broken down to 5 volts, 3 volts, the LDO, the regulator, the switch. So this voltage we are going to look at them all in the future. We have the PCH, the same bus block diagram. This is the communication, how the trackpad, the battery, the charger, all how they communicate on the motherboard. Then here we have the thermal block diagram. This is for the temperature, how the laptop gets to know the temperature on the graphics card, the chipset or the processor, and the KBC, the EC and the fan, how all this communication works. And lastly here we have the audio, how sound is made on the motherboard. So this makes the last page on the block diagram. this makes the last page on the pages of the schematics. I wanted to go through these pages briefly to show you which is found on which page and how every content is displayed on the schematics. In the next video, we are going to take a look at these signal names. You have seen there are many signal names here, and you need to know what they mean. You have seen a lot of S5, a lot of SO, so we need to know how those signals work and what they mean and what do they do. So I'm going to end this video here, and I hope to see you in the next video.